Welcome to Whispers to a Bride, where we talk about the stuff no one else is talking about. We are going deep on the emotional aspects of getting married, the stress, drama, and turbulence that affects your own sense of identity and your closest relationships. We are talking about what it means to be a bride and how to navigate this sacred time with more grace and ease. I'm your host, Kara Gassabay. As a life coach and therapist, I'm going to be sharing super practical tips so that you can not only rise to the occasion of your wedding, but also your life. Hello, and welcome to episode 75, Grounding in Gratitude. I am a little frazzled because I am actually re-recording this because my original file got all corrupted. Such is the way of things in technology land, but it's a great one to re-record because it is just such a key theme. And since the original I recorded like a week or two ago, and then I've had a few clients since then, and it's just come up so much. No matter what the question, gratitude is likely one of the answers, not all the time. And it's not the cure-all for everything, but especially around weddings, you almost can't fail to return to gratitude when things are getting tricky, right? So things get tricky with your relationships, things get tricky with your budget, things get tricky with your identity, things get tricky with the friends and the family and the fiance, and just the party planning and the planning of the new life. Like, it gets hard. And it's so hard when things get tough and it's a situation that we had always thought was going to be just really, really positive. And in fact, it is really positive. Usually people are very excited to move on to this stage of their life, move their relationship into this new phase. It is a very beautiful, blessed time. And so when things start to hit the fan, when it inevitably gets really hard and really just overwhelming or draining or just stressful and terrible, we don't know where to turn, right? We're doing it wrong. That's why we can end up spending more money, comparing ourselves to what our friends are doing, just getting ourselves self-blame and self-loathing, like, wow, I'm just not doing the things I was supposed to be doing to feel the way that I was supposed to feel. My thoughts must be wrong, or my actions or my decisions or my friends must be wrong, my family, right? We can either blame outside or we can blame inside. And really, one of the key things that will sort of recalibrate you and ground you is to be grateful, right? When you're confused about what's going on, you need to get your bearings again. And when you're in this sort of wedding preparation or newlywed phase, your life is spinning, right? All the things to create something new, right? Things get all mixed up and sort of thrown around. You could think of like making a cake, right? There's all these ingredients and it's mixing and it looks terrible. And like, what are we doing? That's sort of the phase you're in before you're sort of to that baked cake. Like 5 years from now, when you're in your newlywed life and you're in your marriage, you know your deal with your friends and your in-laws and all that stuff. It's a little more stable. Right now, we're just like making that cake. So it's a little messy. We know inherently that it's a good thing, but it does not feel good. It does not look good at this point. And what you need to do to reorient is that gratitude practice. This is like bringing it way back to basics. This is bringing me back to like Oprah 90s vibes. I used to watch like after school religiously, that famous woman, I think Sarah Bronick is her name, who like brought the gratitude journal like to the forefront with her book, Simple Abundance. I still remember the like sort of mauvey pink cover. And it was just this big deal to write a gratitude list every night before you go to bed or every morning when you wake up, and just what a grounding thing it is. And like, it's not trendy, right? It's actually like a super ancient way of orienting ourselves to what is true and real. And so whether you're having a struggle with like feeling like everything is simultaneously not enough and also way too much, whether it's not enough support you're getting, or it's too much attention, or it's not enough money, but it's also too much details and stuff and obligations, right? Like, there's the thing with weddings that it's not enough and yet too much all at the same time. Gratitude will save you. Gratitude brings you back. Like, okay, why are we here? What do we appreciate? What do we care about, right? Your gratitude practice will help you really remember what matters to you. And that's probably far from the things that are stressing you out, right? Sometimes we get really stressed because we're getting ourselves caught up in stuff that like isn't in line with our absolute values. And gratitude reminds you of your values. When you're in line with your values, you can make decisions from there and sort of let a lot of the extra stuff that is sort of bombarding you from like wedding culture and Instagram life and wedding TikTok, all of that stuff, like making you feel like you should be doing this and you should have had this and you should be feeling this and these friends should have done that. Getting back to gratitude, calmly listing 3 things before you go to bed, or waking up and whispering 3 things before you start your day. Whatever it is for you, I do not want to get prescriptive. I think writing things down is magic. I really, really do. But I also, if you're not that kind of person, you can speak it to your phone recorder. You can text yourself. You can write it down the old-fashioned way. It's a really fun thing to look back on. But I just really want you to think about if you're feeling like you're spinning, if you feel like things are getting out of control or just not fun and not happy and you don't know what's going on anymore, think about grounding in gratitude, right? Just go on a bit of like a rampage about like, what are you so excited for? What is going right? What are you so glad that you have? And for most of you, if not all of you, it should start with like, you found love. You found a person that is inspired you to take this next step and to have this relationship. Like that alone is a whole lot to be grateful for. Again, I do not want to sound like cheesy or obvious, but I'm telling you, Wedding World takes us on a ride and it takes us almost as far away from ourselves as it can, right? And this will land you right back at the beginning, right? This is the ruby slippers. This is like, you can always go back home. Like you can always go back to what matters to you and what you already have, which is so much more than like, for so many of us than we ever sort of expected or dreamed of. If you were in that single world for a really long time, like this is exciting. This is something to be grateful for. As hard as it is, it does not take away the hard, but it reorients you and it helps you find your voice again. It helps you find your compass. It helps you find your direction. And there's nothing, it's just a stabilizing force, let alone it's just like a very good life practice and place to operate from. In my original episode on this, I actually walked through like all this research about gratitude that now like, I mean, it's still very good, but it seems sort of just less, I don't know. I'll run through it. There were 7 things that like the research has shown that gratitude actually does in your life. And I'll just spit them out quickly. I don't even think it matters as much because it's like, we know this on an intuitive level. And I think you believe me when I tell you, but for the fun of it, let's just go through it since I put it together the first time. Anyway, gratitude opens the door to your relationships, right? Those please and thank yous that you say to people, especially saying thank you, just solidifies your relationship in a huge way. This is a great thing with your vendors and any of your friends and family who are helping you out. Just say thank you. It's just going to improve your relationship to your partner or to anybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It improves your physical health. The research on your physical health, it's basically just because like the more grateful you are, the better you're going to take care of your body. You're going to do your checkups, which is also going to help your long-term health. That kind of makes sense. It also is going to improve your mental health because it reduces a lot of toxic emotions. And those can be envy, resentment, frustration, and regret. Huge ones in wedding world, right? Huge, huge, huge. The more research they did, there's a link between gratitude and well-being, right? So it's just going to take down the depression, increase the happiness by getting rid of some of those toxic emotions, which I'm telling you, wedding world will bring out in spades. Number 4, it enhances your empathy, right? It helps you put yourself in other people's shoes and have more sensitivity and less desire to seek revenge. It helps you sleep better. Like, come on, beauty rest, just rest for your health and well-being. Sleep is huge, huge, huge. And gratitude helps you get there. So a great reminder to do your gratitude practice before bed. It will stop sort of that anxiety spinning rapid thoughts. Number 6, it improves your self-esteem, right? Like it allows us to show up in our relationships without that veil of self doubt, and insecurity. It reduces the social comparisons, which is huge for brides. So rather than becoming resentful towards people who have like a better wedding, we're grateful and we can appreciate other people's accomplishments and not let it take away from our own. So it's that gratitude just is really gonna give you that extra self-esteem boost, which you need as you're going through the bridal journey. And finally, number 7, it increases your mental strength. So not only does it reduce stress, but it plays a huge role actually in overcoming trauma. They did a study about people who went through 9/11 and wars, and being thankful was just one of the factors that really separated the people that did better mentally in the long run. So again, you know this at your core. That's just a reminder from the research that just felt really compelling a couple of weeks ago when I put it together. But today, when I'm just revisiting, I just want to tell you, like, there's that grounding force to it. You can almost feel like the word gratitude, gravitas, grounding. So whenever you feel yourself sort of spinning, freaking, fluttering, like it feels like things are up in your head, grounding in your body, and do that through gratitude, right? So bring everything down. Bring your voice down, bring your energy down, bring everything back down to the ground with gratitude, just by saying, thank God I have this. Thank Spirit for this. Thank the universe for this. Thank my mother for this. Thank my partner for this. Thank my friends for this. Thank me for me, right? That famous Snoop Dogg, like, thank yourself for showing up for you, for doing this for you, for listening to this podcast, for putting yourself first, for taking care of your mental health, for tending to your emotions and your relationships. Like, this stuff matters. I'm obsessed. In 2023, gratitude, I'm bringing her back like big time in my own personal life. I have so much to be grateful for. And I find that like it's a practice that I can dip in and out of. And I want to stay in. I want to stay anchored and grounded. I want that for you. This is the moment. Turn back to that gratitude practice. Make it easy. If you fall off, get back on. There's no punishments. I'm here to support you. If you need me, book a call. I've been having amazing conversations lately with brides just like you. They heard this podcast and they were like, let's go. KaraMorning.com. Happy to help you. Until next time, I am wishing you nothing but bridal bliss.